Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Welcome back to Going in Raw. It's the first Going in Raw of 2016. Therefore, we are going to discuss 2016, Larson.
Yeah, that's right. It's we're on the precipice of the first Raw of the new year, so what better time than now to make our predictions for 2016?
Do you think 2016 is going to be a vastly different year than 2015?
No.
Me neither. But you had a good idea. We would each chip in a couple of predictions for the new year.
Yeah, 5 each, so it's kind of like a top 10 thing.
I don't think I have 5.
You did last time. Oh, wait, we should say we actually did record this once.
Yeah, we already
screwed
recorded
up.
once. One of us fucked up.
Well, I mean, it's an honest mistake.
2, 3, 4. I've got 4, but then the 5th one will be my not challenge, but
No,
my,
I remember what your 5th one was.
okay.
Your 5th one, well, we'll get to it.
No, I'm not gonna do that this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're keeping that under wraps until it's more solid.
Very well.
It's more of a wish, and I don't want to spoil it. All right, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Prediction
ahead.
number 1.
Yeah,
Kurt Angle will get one last run with the WWE.
I like this. I like it a lot. How likely do you think it will? It's going to happen? How likely
Somewhere
do you think?
between 30 and 40% likely.
I would say up to 50%.
Yeah.
I think that maybe because here's the situation. Like, apparently he contacted the WWE or attempted to see, hey, I'd like to come in. This happened, I think, last year.
Yeah, when his contract with his last time he was a free agent.
Right, exactly. And apparently it just sounded like a clusterfuck because, for one thing, the WWE allegedly wanted him to be full-time, which, I mean...
He can't do that anymore.
And then on top of that, like, Triple H was the guy he was dealing with, and he decided to go to talk to Vince, and that rubbed Triple H the wrong way, and it just sounded like a big mess, which is weird because Kurt Angle's a big name.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I don't know, is this like was that like a fuck you to Kurt Angle? Like, because I know there was, when he left the WWE, he said he was basically retiring, or he said he needed time off because he didn't, he
had health issues and he had some
and then like it was
personal issues
really
resolved,
soon
yeah.
after that. It was really soon after that he ended up with TNA.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I back when I read the situation surrounding his previous contract negotiation, I kind of felt like it was a excuse me. I felt like it like WWE extended an offer out of courtesy, but in fact didn't really want him, so they said, here's a contract offer, but we know you won't take it because the terms are not favorable to what you want. Instead of giving him a part-time contract a la Brock Lesnar, or I guess Brock Lesnar's the only kind of full-time part-timer
Yeah.
right now. Instead of giving him a contract like that where, he'll participate in major pay-per-views and the build-up to those matches, they want him to work full-time. Knowing full well, I'm sure that he would not accept that.
Yeah, that really bums me out because I would love to see him back in the WWE.
Oh, yeah.
In any capacity, really. He made mention there was a note on Kurt Angle fairly recently, and I think he's mentioned this before, but that he really wants a match with him and Daniel Bryan to happen, which would be an obvious.
Well, if he wants that to happen, it's looking like that's not going to happen in WWE.
I know, exactly. So yeah, that's a bummer to me. I think it could still happen. It's surprising to me that he isn't. I mean, he's with TNA now, I guess, for a little while. For less than a year. I know once this one's done, he's.
I think his contract's up pretty soon.
Yeah. So that'll be exciting when he's away from them. Hopefully WWE makes something work, because I think to me personally, he's on the level of a Brock Lesnar name.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
He had, and it's funny because his reign in the WWE was longer than I originally, like when I originally thought of it. I think it was like 8 years. Mm-hmm. And then since then it's been I think around 8 or maybe up to 10 years with TNA.
He's been with TNA longer than he has been, or than he was with WWE. Yeah.
But not by much though.
Yeah.
It's not by much. And that's surprising because to me now it feels like he's been with TNA far longer.
Oh yeah.
Than he's with WWE, but that's actually not the case. Like, it's fairly even. But it's just because his ascent in the WWE was so quick.
Yeah, and in the early aughts, he was arguably the top star.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I mean, he main evented a couple. I know at least one WrestleMania with Brock.
Yeah,
and then maybe a couple others. He's hot shit. I love Kurt Angle. It helps his case in my eyes, anyways. That we've heard from a friend of ours who's actually had the privilege of working a little bit with him. in a PR capacity that he's an amazing guy, like just a really super nice guy. There was like an autograph signing thing, and he stayed behind and until every single last one was signed.
Yeah.
Which, a lot of people don't have to do.
Yeah.
Or won't do rather if they don't have to. So yeah, I don't know. I really want to see. And he's never really had. He's never the good thing about Kurt Angle is that he really does seem through and through to be a classy guy. Like he's never had, personal issues aside. That's his own personal stuff, but he's never had like any rants against the WWE saying no, they're a shit organization. Like he's always seemed really classy about the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like whatever personal issues he had didn't really, as far as I know, I could be completely wrong about this, interfere with his work.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes it obviously does with certain people like Jeff Hardy, who comes out on TNA pay-per-view completely hammered and stuff. That's one duo, like while we're talking about returns, that's one duo that I'm still not entirely sure I need to see back in the WWE.
Yeah, I don't feel like I do.
The Hardy Boys.
No, I feel like their initial run was sufficient.
Their time, and it's funny because like I've been watching sort of like early aughts Raws just in the background because that's a really fascinating. I remember I watched them back when they were alive, but it's a really fascinating period to me because so many weird things were happening. Like all the WCW contracts are starting to come over to the WWE, or all those superstars contracts with WCW.
That's when they were doing the WCW invasion stuff, right?
They were doing the invasion, but it is interesting. We had this discussion with Adi Shankar when we were doing that 10 for the win with him, and he was like, it was a bummer that the NWO. It's funny. This is one of those things where no matter who you run into, no matter who you talk to, there's always wrestling fans places, and he made the point that the NWO only came in briefly or shortly after the invasion angle happened. And it's like he was always bummed out that the NWO didn't come in sooner. I was like, yeah, that's a really good point. I always thought the NWO came in much later, but no, it wasn't. It was really soon after. The DDP was really soon after. It's really weird that they didn't package everybody that they really didn't go at me, especially considering how cheap they got the WCW assets for.
Yeah.
It's really surprising that they didn't try to milk it and try to go harder after the bigger names immediately. And yeah, it would have cost them a pretty penny, but legacy wise, the invasion angle is kind of a mess.
Oh yeah.
And it could have been huge. I think it could have been huge.
Yep.
Moving on, one of my predictions. NXT goes monthly in 2016, probably towards the tail end. I think that it's just gonna get bigger and bigger. I think that
you mean takeover events go monthly.
Their pay-per-view, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, their takeover events are gonna go monthly. I think that number one, to better prepare the developmental talent for the schedule and grind of the WWE.
Yeah,
I think it'd probably behoove them to make those things monthly.
Yeah, because they've been a traveling promotion for, I don't know, a good chunk of 2015.
Yeah.
They started going on the road more frequently.
Yeah.
And I guess the next logical step would be to start doing monthly special events.
And I would think with the, there was a report I read the other day about how the NXT events are selling out quicker and quicker.
Yeah.
That would seem even financially to be sort of the next big step. I mean, I know logistically it's probably a big pain in the ass, but I would think that it would make a lot of sense for that to happen in 2016, even if it's just because I really want it to happen. I don't know. I'm sort of like, I'm on the fence because monthly might make the product, might water down the product. It might.
Well, I
might make it less special.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think the only way it could potentially is since the men's singles division is kind of weak right now.
Yeah.
I mean the women's division, tag division, incredible amount of depth. It seems to be where the strongest talent lies.
Yeah.
But in terms of the people competing for the NXT championship, but there's some talented guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they're just not dedicating enough TV time to those angles.
Yeah.
Or if they're having a hard time coming up with creative bookings for it.
Yeah.
But it's just not interesting right now.
I know.
I think that's one thing they have to really strengthen before they make that leap to monthly takeover events.
But it also makes me wonder if that would help facilitate that.
It could.
Because right now, like you said, it's sort of weak right now, but then you have to wait because it's weak. You have to wait 3 months between big shows, and a whole lot of nothing seems to happen. Either they have to strengthen their weekly product, or they have to go monthly with their big one, because their weekly product I think by necessity is a developmental product.
Oh yeah,
they roll out like new people all the time. They test out people all the time, and so that, in my eyes, makes the weekly product, and it's I want to say weak, but sometimes I'm not going to say unnecessary. It's hard for me to put this in words because I understand this is developmental, and they're not going to have a developmental for developmental, so they need that. But I mean, I don't know what the solution is. Expanded 90 minutes weekly. I don't know.
I think what you're saying is it's not consistently captivating television.
Right, exactly. But but by necessity because it's developmental.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's always kind of interesting to see, who's this guy? What's this person all about? And then I'll look, these days, like the jobbers they bring out, developmental jobbers, I'll look them up. I'll be like, what's this person from, So I don't know. NXT has a lot of heat behind it. It wouldn't surprise me if they moved it to monthly. Knowing Triple H and it's his baby, I know that he would probably want to be really careful about how that's done.
Yeah. I think they'd have to make sure the metrics were behind them in terms of,
exactly.
And if these, even the house shows are selling out consistently, that strengthens their case to do. I just don't want them to consistently piggyback the takeover events on WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's great for the major four. To have NXT events the Saturday, whatever, before like WrestleMania, SummerSlam. I guess you could do Survivor Series and Royal Rumble. That's great. But it's also nice to have those 2-hour takeover shows on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. I actually I like that Wednesday is sort of the day that they've staked out. And so I actually really like that. And you know what? If they do it logistically, in terms of making the Big Four a really big event, start on Wednesday with NXT, do something on Thursday, do something on Friday, Saturday. It's like I think they can have their cake and eat it too. They don't need takeover on Saturday. They can have it on Wednesday, and in between then and the pay-per-view, you have a lot of cool events in between.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. You're up.
Oh, prediction number 2 for me. We'll stick with NXT. Chad Gable, Jason Jordan will become the hottest tag team in NXT, if not the 2 most popular wrestlers, period.
I think I agree with this. It'll be interesting to see. I can't wait to see these 2 guys develop.
Yeah.
We've talked a bit about them over the past couple of weeks and months, and especially with Jason Jordan, to see him develop even from a couple months ago, because he's been around for a little while now, and to see him develop since they put him with Gable. His mic skills, channeling his charisma, because he's got loads of it. It's just a matter of channeling it. He's got the look, the size, the build, the smarts. I looked this guy up. He's got like 2 or 3 different degrees. This guy is going to go really far. And I think the only reason why I stress him instead of Gable, and I think Gable's going to go far, but I think Gable's going to go far in sort of a Chris Jericho manner. Like, Jericho's not a big guy. He had a tougher time, I think, being believable as a heavyweight champion.
Yeah, Gable's, I think I looked him up the other day, he's 5'8".
Oh, God, I didn't know he was that small. Jesus. Yeah. So that's going to be that's going to be like a Daniel Bryan road to take,
Yeah.
So, but he's immensely talented. He's a great wrestler, and he's great on the mic. But Jason Jordan especially is going to be, like, 5 years from now,
a huge star.
Huge. Yeah. Just huge.
I think more immediately with it seems Enzo and Cass are, and have been for months now, primed to make the leap to the main roster.
Right.
And so there's going to be a void as the top babyface tag team.
Yeah.
And Gable and Jordan seem primed to fill that void.
Right, absolutely.
And they have all the tools and all the talent to just take off with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
You're next.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'll toss this one in here. I think, sort of going along with what I said about NXT going monthly, I think 2016, we're going to see Triple H really show his Triple H is really going to take a lot more responsibility of day-to-day creative, raw. You're going to see his stamp a lot more as opposed to right now, which we have this really strange sort of dichotomy about, with Triple H, and it's sort of the Triple H Steph/Vince show. And you can almost see the Vince stuff and you can see the Triple H stuff, and they kind of conflict sometimes.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see this year, just by nature of the fact that Vince is getting older, and I know everybody says he's a total workaholic and he'll retire when he dies. I'm not so sure that's the case. I mean, I think you see him on TV, and obviously he's probably quite a ways away from really retiring, but things happen really quickly. Like, especially when it gets to age, a downward turn can be really fast. Mm-hmm. I just get the feeling that because of the success of NXT, because of the type of booking that we're seeing with Roman Reigns, and evidently I saw one dirt sheet thing today saying that it's looking more likely that the Rumble is going to feature Triple H versus Roman Reigns as opposed to Roman Reigns versus a Sheamus rematch.
Yeah. Which is the right call.
Exactly. I agree totally. And that's a Triple H call.
Yeah.
I feel like his stamp in a good way is going to be felt. I think maybe the big marquee matches might have the Vince type finishes to them, but I think that the storylines are going to start becoming more and more sort of stamped with Triple H and Stephanie's thing, but more like Triple H, his way of doing things, which I think is going to be for the best because you get guys like Owens, Ambrose, you get those kind of guys, Seth Rollins when he comes back. You get those guys, the real good performers, the characters.
Yeah.
It's sort of taking the limelight.
See, I'd like to hope that would happen sooner rather than later, but I'm pessimistic until. Really? I mean, obviously, you could see the transition they've done with Reigns in terms of his character. It seems like that's Triple H's work in terms of getting rid of the corny promos,
yeah,
and the jokes, and just making him a guy that goes out there and kicks ass.
Yeah,
it's the most basic, simple, obvious booking.
It's a pretty big one, though.
It is,
and the fact that it's. I mean, granted, we're still early into the process, but for that episode for the following Raw, like it seems to be working right now. Like the fans are still behind it. Nobody's crowing about Reigns is champion. I can't believe it. Why is he champion?
People are buying into it, that's for sure. And there was when Reigns was doing all those awful promos, and there was word on the dirt sheets of that Vince was personally writing those.
Right.
And it's nice to see them getting away from that, and it's encouraging to see that and see the company grow in that direction versus I think Vince has a tendency to stick to a couple of things he thinks works.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these days it just doesn't work with today's audience.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So hopefully, I'm pessimistic it's going to happen anytime soon, but I'm hopeful that your prediction will come true.
Me too. Your turn.
Daniel Bryan returns in 2016, but maybe not with WWE. I'd really like to see him come back. He's fun to watch.
Your feeling on this has been that you feel the lawsuit that is currently up on the WWE in terms of concussions
is one reason, if one of the primary reasons they're holding him back.
It's hard to argue this again because we've already talked about this, but I'll go ahead and try.
Okay.
Because we both know each other's points.
Yeah, I know. I thought about going through and changing these up, but I was like, I don't really have time. So
yeah, I'm trying to change up a little bit. Okay, here's my point on this. Is I feel that the lawsuit and the general sort of social consciousness of concussions in general, I mean, notwithstanding the movie that's about to come out.
It is already out.
Oh, it's already out, really?
Well, I know it came out at least in
limited
release on Christmas Day, yeah.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it had to because of the Oscars. Because of the climate regarding concussions right now, I think the lawsuit is going to be, no matter what happens with it in the end, the cloud over the WWE, over contact sports in general. I mean, basically you have the NFL. It's not a big problem in basketball. It's not a big problem in baseball. But the WWE, it's a problem. And so, and when I say sport, I understand it's not a sport. It's a sports-driven entertainment event, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Where concussions happen a lot. I think that there's going to be a cloud over this for a very long time, and they're going to have to self-regulate really strict policies on concussions. So I'm not sure. I'm more pessimistic about them saying, "Oh, the lawsuit's gone. Have at it." I think that this is going to be a thing where they're going to be like, you know what? We need to we have to look at this as an investment, and we can't let our guys go out there who might get concussed all to hell and then end up pulling a Chris Benoit. We have to prevent that from happening, because we simply can't afford the PR that comes with that anymore. And we can't afford, who knows what the government's going to start doing if it really gets into the public sphere, because that's when the government starts putting their finger in everything.
Well, I remember reading, or thought I heard, when WWE banned the curb stomp, and one of the reasons they may have done it was to, in response to the concussion lawsuit, because granted, as far as we know, no one has actually been hurt by that move.
Yeah.
But it gives the impression that, you're stomping on a guy's head. That's head trauma happening right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
It just seems like there's been several things after this lawsuit was filed. Say 2 years ago, if Daniel Bryan had this concussion, he passed all his protocol. Do you think the WWE would have held him out? And even 2 years ago, I think the public's consciousness of head trauma and concussions in contact sport was maybe not to what it is now, but pretty darn close. This has been an evolving story going through the mainstream for the last 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, but it's more sort of ingrained. Like, there's just every incident that happens makes it worse. And then this movie comes out. I think I'll say this. I think you're right. I think 2 years ago things were different in terms of what the WWE were doing, because there wasn't that lawsuit. But I think this lawsuit I think this lawsuit is just a big eye opener. And I think it's the kind of thing where they're not going to go back to the old ways just because the lawsuit goes away. I think the lawsuit might have been a catalyst.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's probably a little bit of that. But from a PR standpoint, there's this lawsuit going on. They cleared Daniel Bryan to wrestle. Say in 3 weeks he had another concussion. That looks real bad for them.
Yeah.
But if that lawsuit's not there, whether it's settled, whether it's dismissed, whatever, Daniel Bryan gets cleared. He goes back 3 weeks later. It's not the huge public relations nightmare it would be if the lawsuit was still happening. It's just shitty for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I see your point. I do. I just think that whatever they have right now.
I'm not saying the lawsuit is the sole reason they're holding him out. I'm just saying it's got to be one of them.
I don't know, because here's my only issue with that is that he's been on record recently as saying, we'll see what the WWE has to say, but if they don't clear me, I might still be wrestling, just not for the WWE.
Yeah.
If what you're saying is true, it would seem more like the WWE would be like, look, Daniel, we have this lawsuit going on right now, and maybe that's in the subtext. Maybe that's the subtext of what he's saying. Maybe he's saying they're not going to clear me to wrestle because of this lawsuit, but I can't let that stop me from doing my thing. I mean, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's something he understands, but he obviously can't say.
I would also be very surprised if that was ever vocalized to him, where someone pulled Daniel Bryan to their office and said, okay, let's just ride this lawsuit out, and once that's worked out, we'll let you back in the ring.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, he's in the thick of the situation. He knows one way or the other. He knows. I mean, regardless of somebody,
he could
somebody
know,
but
just to say, whether someone has actually put that situation out to him that clearly is something else.
Yeah, I think he would know black or white. He would know. I really believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're next.
Anyways, I would love to see him. Regardless, I would love to see him wrestle. Love to see him wrestle. Let's see here. Here's my last one before we go into our big predictions for next year. Mine is this. It's Baron Corbin wins the NXT belt.
Please no.
Did you? You know what? I'm kind of glad we got to re-record this, because in the interim,
I saw that video. I responded to it. No,
it was
awful.
Great. It was beautiful.
Awful. It was awful.
It was so bad.
My response was, he was better when he doesn't care.
I know. Do you see my point now? That's what we could have that Baron Corbin. Okay, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. So one of our friendos on my Twitter, I'll maybe post a link to it in the description here. sent us a video of Baron Corbin, an early promo presentation thing that he had to give in developmental class or whatever, where he was calling out Bo Dallas, who was the NXT champion at the time, and he was doing it as a babyface. But it was like, just give me the chance.
What was his little
Live
catchphrase
free,
at the end?
Live free or...
No.
Yeah, it was. It was live free or something.
I thought it was or die.
I don't think Die was in it.
It was.
Die was in it?
I believe so.
I don't think Die was in it. I was waiting for him to say Die. I was like, ooh, you can't say Die. That's a Chris Benoit thing. I honestly don't think. I think it was Live Free or... I forget what it was. I don't think it was Die or it was like Go Down. I don't know what it was, but it was so bad. It was so unbelievably bad. But you know what? You got to start somewhere, and now he is where he is.
And now he is apathetic.
I love Baron Corbin. Somebody send me a T-shirt, a Baron Corbin T-shirt.
You could just buy one
I
yourself.
don't want to buy that. But if somebody else wants to buy it for me, I'll wear it.
Stick by your convictions. Come on. So let me ask you this.
What?
Are you off the Finn Balor hype train?
No, I love Finn Balor. I just
And
think
are you trying to start the Baron Corbin hype train?
I started that hype train weeks ago. You just haven't gone on yet. Yes, absolutely. I'm starting that Baron Corbin hype train. We're moving out of Bakersfield. We're heading towards, I don't know, Stockton. Yeah, no, I want to see him be NXT champ. I think he's going to be, my honest to God, my hope for Baron Corbin is that he just stays in NXT for 10 years for his entire career.
You want him to be the Crash Davis of NXT, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want for him because I think he's best there. I think he just doesn't care. As Scott Hall said on that episode of Breaking Ground, yeah, you got a body like you go to the gym every couple days.
I love that part when Scott Hall says, people realize what asshole you are?
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah. Here's my thing about Finn Balor. This is a prediction for B. Okay, Finn Balor is gonna get called up. He's gonna last a year, and he's gonna be released. He's gonna last longer than Tyler Breeze, but ultimately they're not gonna figure out what the fuck to do with his character.
Well, he really has no character.
I don't think that's the thing. That's just gonna be perpetual, and he doesn't have the mic skills to do anything more with that. But he'll last a year, and he'll get the IC belt. And they're gonna do that thing where they try to put a belt on somebody and try to make that and try to get them over because they have the belt, and it's not gonna work. And he's gonna be released. He's gonna go to Japan. He's gonna rejoin the Bullet Club, and he'll be fine over there.
That could be.
That's my thoughts.
They really have to do something with his character if he has any chance.
The dude needs to learn how to talk. I mean, it's not that he can't talk. He talks naturally. He just doesn't sound interesting. He doesn't say anything interesting.
Yeah.
And I need a reason. See, the thing is, this is the thing that I like about we had a discussion before, and I pointed this out to you before. But the thing that I like about him that I think he's got potential with is that he's such a clean slate.
Yeah, he's a blank slate. Yeah.
He's got a really good. I'll say this: I like his look a lot. I like the demon thing a lot because I like that he comes out with his Fonzie jacket. He's a good-looking dude. He's got a good body to him. He looks like a cool guy. He comes out on his demon thing on special occasions, and I think that's cool. I know you have a problem with that particular presentation. I personally really like that.
Well, I have a problem with it only because there's nothing else behind it.
Yeah, but aesthetically speaking, you're not huge on the demon either.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. I love it. I think it's great. And so I'm like, I want to know more about this guy. I want to be in. I want to buy in. That's my thing about Finn Balor is that I want to buy into him. I saw some stuff from his Bullet Club days the other day because I was doing some research on that. And I was like, man, this guy looks really cool. Like he's doing this weird gun to his head thing. And it was just cool. It was really cool. But then at the end of the day, he has to open his mouth and say something that's going to be like, oh, yeah, he is cool.
Yeah.
And that's my problem with him. And that's why I think he's got potential over somebody like Tyler Breeze, who's already, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with him.
I think Tyler Breeze has maxed out the potential of that character
within a span of 4 weeks.
But I mean,
and that's
I'm not saying in terms of how he can be booked. I'm saying in terms of how he can present that character.
But
that character arrived to me more or less
though.
fully fleshed out, and there's not much else they can do with it.
His character is just—it's a gimmick. It's not really it's not really like a fleshed out character. It's a gimmick. Kevin Owens is a character. He's a guy. He's somebody that he can do anything. He can do drama. He can do comedy. He's versatile. He can do anything.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose, same way. Seth Rollins, same way. Those guys, it's like, okay, well, who is Kevin Owens? He's a big brawler dude. Who is kind of pissed off.
He's a prize fighter who does anything he has to do to make money to support his family. That's how his character has been presented as since he showed up at NXT.
Exactly. You could do a lot with that.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins, he's a manipulator. He's like
the architect.
The architect, exactly. You can do a lot with that because it's very there's a lot you can play with there. What's Tyler Breeze's character? Well, he's just really into himself. But like he's presented as a cartoon character. You can't do much with that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they can add dimensions if they shift the character slightly. I mean, you can still be the guy who's into themselves and still do different things. Shawn Michaels. I mean, it's essentially Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is the guy that was really into himself.
Yeah, but Shawn Michaels.
It could be Shawn Michaels, the guy who's really into himself, and then you could, add some dimension to that, or you can do the narcissist Lex Luger and just do that one thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of the crossroad I feel like Tyler Breeze is at right now.
Tyler, I know, but the thing is, even with Luger, and especially with Shawn Michaels, that was a dimension of their personality as opposed to their character, as opposed to their gimmick. You know what I mean? Like Shawn Michaels, he was arrogant and he was into himself, and his theme song was him, just like Tyler Breeze's is. But it's like with Tyler Breeze, you're right. He can pivot. They can do that. But if all they do, my thing is,
one second before you continue, we have to go back. How is the narcissist in any way any part of Lex Luger's personality? Just because he was buff?
Okay, no, you're completely right. I misspoke with Luger. You're right about that. Luger. I'm talking about Luger as a brother. Anyways, they can pivot with him. It's just they have to get away. It's just like Fandango. I mean, but he's a bit more of a character. He's a bit more of a gimmick because he's dance centric. At least Tyler Breeze is just a larger version of being arrogant, which Shawn Michaels was. But I just feel like Tyler Breeze has the selfie. He's got the ridiculous boots, which look ugly as shit.
Yeah. And
he's got the very specific like entrance. Those things are gimmick. And it's like, I honestly, like from what I watched in Breaking Ground and then that, not 30 by 30, but the ESPN 360, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that he worked so hard to get even that, that I'm not sure how much more he can get. I don't know.
It all depends on booking, him being given opportunities to grow his character, and whether he takes advantage of those opportunities.
Also,
right now he's not getting any opportunity.
One thing I've also noticed on Bray, what are the best the best characters we know are simply using extensions of their own personality.
Absolutely.
When I see Tyler Breeze on Breaking Ground and all those other things, he's totally playing a character, and I find the real him far more interesting.
Yeah.
So a pivot would have to be a dramatic pivot.
Well, it wouldn't have to be a sudden. It could be a gradual transition.
That's true.
It could be.
That's true.
Step 1, lose the boots. Step 2, maybe take the furry shit off your selfie stick. That kind of stuff.
Start talking without. I don't know why he went with it, because when you hear him talks like a normal guy.
No, I know, and that's not to say that's something that he created. That could have been something in NXT. Someone said, "Hey, maybe you should try this."
Yeah, no, I know.
And people liked it, and they're like, "Okay, no, that's really good. Let's stick with that."
Yeah.
It's hard to know what aspects of that character / gimmick were solely his creation versus someone else versus a collaboration. We don't know.
No, you're right about that. You're right about that.
But I mean, it's obvious that someone in WWE management likes him and or his character.
Yeah.
Because they brought him up to Maine and they saw some potential in him. So.
All right. Your turn, I think.
Yeah. There's a lot of NXT in this show. Bayley, NXT's top star right now.
Yeah.
I'm predicting will debut on the main roster, the Raw after WrestleMania. Think about it. WrestleMania 32, Charlotte versus Sasha Banks for the Divas title.
Which is seeming like a possibility at this point. I thought that.
I've been saying that for months. That's
I know.
So Sasha wins the belt at WrestleMania and has some celebration. Out comes Bayley with the big inflatable things and all that stuff. The whole show. It'd be great.
I can't wait to see Bayley's WrestleMania entrance.
Oh, I know. Gosh.
It's going to be huge.
That's going to be great.
I know.
So anyway, she comes out and she's, it's like, whoa, Sasha, not so fast.
Yeah.
I'm here now. And set up, like, seriously, give them that whole year to feud.
Yeah.
Just think all of 2016, Sasha Bayley feud.
And
culminating at WrestleMania 33 with their blow-off match. That'd be fantastic.
The great thing about Bayley is that her character's progression so warrants kind of, I don't want to say a reboot, but just the next level going up to Maine and all the uncertainties of now performing on the big stage. And I think that could be it's like Sasha at the next level of, you know what, I left you in NXT. And it could go both ways. It's like Bayley's the person who had her number at the end in NXT, and Sasha's the person now with the belt and has that over Bayley. Like, I've already taken it to the next level and I've reached the pinnacle.
Yep.
And so that could go. And if they did that, if they let that feud last a year and Bayley wins it at the next WrestleMania,
how awesome would that be?
Oh, it'd be amazing. Yep. That would be amazing. All right, so final or mine. I get ours.
Well, here, since you're short one, I have one more I can do.
Okay.
Kevin Owens is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship this year.
I'm gonna go one further. I'm gonna say he wins it, and I'm gonna say Dean Ambrose wins it at some point.
What about John Cena? Does he win it sometime this year too?
I think he's gonna close 2016 as the champion.
Okay, well that goes to your last question you were gonna ask both of us. So let's do that.
All right, here we go. The question is, who closes 2016 as the champion? And then, God willing, in a year, we'll look back on this and be like, oh, well, you're an idiot. Or you're completely correct. Let's start with the tag titles in NXT.
Okay. Gable and Jordan.
I agree with that. I think that you're right. I think that they're going to win them, and I think they're going to keep them for a while.
Yes.
Yeah. NXT women's, NXT men's championship. Because we're going from least to best.
At the end of 2016, I'm going to say Apollo Crews.
Baron Corbin. Oh, you're probably right, though. I think Baron's on the precipice. I'm not sure he's going to have it very long.
Baron's the transitional champion.
No way. Baron's the man. He's going to have it. He's going to have it closing out 2016. Although that'd be interesting if he spent all of 2016 in NXT. I joke about him being in NXT for a really long time, but
if he's in NXT all through 2016, that's a really long time.
That is a really long time.
That's like 4 years.
I think it's more. I think it's 5. I think it's at 4. He keeps on saying 3 and breaking ground, but I want to say it's 4. NXT Women's Champion, closing 20.
Asuka.
I see. This is my thing. I think it's going to be Dana Brooke. I think Asuka's going to be on main far. I think she's going to be main by the summer. I think she's quickly going to get to main.
That could be.
Let's see here. The WWE tag team titles. Closing 2016.
I'll say the Lucha Dragons.
I was going to say them. I was going to say them, or I was going to say, this is boring. Boring as hell. I think the Usos. I think they're going to get it back eventually from the New Day. Do you think, let me ask you this, are the New Day going to stay together throughout 2016?
I don't know. I could see either possibility happening.
The Shield lasted 2 years or 1 year?
I think 2.
I think 2 also. 2013,
it's possible.
2015, maybe it was 1. I forget. Yeah, I'm sort of. I hope the New Day really, really enjoys their time right now, because I'm not sure. Let me ask you this: Who benefits most from the New Day out of the three of them? Once they break up, who benefits most? Who goes the furthest?
I think the guy with the most overall potential is probably Big E.
I would say,
but he's already been Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
So I think the guy who probably who will probably see the largest benefit might actually be Xavier Woods.
I would say that. I would say he'd probably go the furthest. I mean, and I don't even know what that means. Like, I'm not. I as much as I would love to see him get the big belt, he's a shorter guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Really tough for short guys. It's so tough for short guys, and there's so much talent.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a great talent. He's a great talker, a really good wrestler. I'm trying to think of somebody whose career he could sort of parallel, and it's still being very satisfactory. And off the top of my head, I can't.
Well, I mean, he could have.
I could think of him as a Jericho type, be honest with you.
See, I was going to say I could think of him as a Dolph type.
Okay. Yeah, I think honestly, I think it's.
I mean, Xavier Woods is a vastly superior talker to Dolph.
Yeah.
But in terms of the career, Dolph's, he's had a decent career.
He has. And you're absolutely right. And I could see parallels there. I could see him. Maybe, I don't know how old he is. I could see him having like a Jericho type career. But the problem with Jericho's career, especially when he was the big dog in WWE, is that there was not a lot of talent. That's the difference, is that when Jericho was holding like the big gold belt, there just wasn't a lot of people at the top.
Yeah.
And right now and going forward, there's a lot of people at the top.
There is.
So I could see him having a Jericho-esque career up to the point where he's winning world titles, which I think honestly was Jericho's best time. Could you imagine Xavier Woods like going up against like a Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental title and him taking on sort of a Jericho heelish persona, but people don't want to boo him because he's so entertaining?
Yeah.
Like, think Jericho WCW days.
Yeah.
That's what Xavier Woods I think could be easily, because he's kind of that now.
Yeah, he is.
And which is, again, just like Dolph. And I think you're right about that, but I think that's a fine career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll be one of those guys who's like a 16-time Intercontinental Champion by the time all is said and done.
Yeah.
Let's see here. That was for the...
That was the tag belts.
Okay. Divas Champion.
Sasha Banks.
Leaving 2016. I'm going to say I have written down here Bayley.
Okay.
As much as I'd love to have a year-long feud, I'm going to say it's Bayley.
They probably won't give him a year, but they should, because it'd be great.
I agree. Let's see here. The Intercontinental title. I'm sorry, the U.S. title.
Do you have someone written down?
I have seen it written down.
Oh, you think he's going to...
I do.
Get back into the U.S. title picture?
I do. I think the Open Challenge has been successful in bringing up new people. I think it'll continue to be successful as a... Oh, you know what? I just thought of, though? It'd be kind of cool. What if Sami Zayn took over the U.S. Open Challenge?
I had thought of Sami Zayn as the IC champ to end 2016.
I have Finn Balor as the IC champ for ending 2016. Because I honestly think that's going to happen. I think he's going to come up. They're going to try to push him. They're going to put the IC belt on him. And then in 2017, they're going to release him.
Could be.
Oh, I'm happier in Japan.
No, Sami Zayn's a good idea for the U.S. title.
What's that?
Sami Zayn's a good idea for the U.S. title.
I like him or Cena. The IC belt. Did you give me the IC belt?
If not Sami Zayn, I'm going to say... I'll say Xavier Woods.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. That's a good one too. But I'm going to say Finn Balor, then he gets released. And then, of course, the World Heavyweight Champion leaving 2016.
You go first.
I'm going to say Cena.
Cena's going to since he doesn't have the U.S. belt?
No, I'm going to say I had written down both the U.S. and the World Heavyweight Champion.
Wow.
That he was going to carry them both. Because I think they're going to do him towards the end of the year. And he's going to do his 15-16 reign. But I think part of that is going to be he's going to have the U.S. title also. I wonder if the fans would revolt at that point.
They might. They could.
They might.
I'm going to say Seth Rollins has the belt by the end of the year.
Whoa. Could be. He's a guy who's really made for the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Him and the belt sort of need each other, I think. Yeah. Well, let us know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to close out 2016 as your champions?
Yeah, give us your predictions.
Please do that. And my prediction for going. Here's a prediction for going in Raw in 2016. We're finally going to have our first wrestler guest interview on the show.
That's a good prediction.
You like that prediction?
Yeah, we'll make that happen.
I want to make that happen. Who do you want our first guy to be?
Trying to think of someone that would be possible.
Prime time Bryan Lee.
Sure.
Let's
make that happen.
I was watching I think it was Smoky Mountain. It was either Smoky Mountain or AWA the other day. And because remember the last time I recorded this, I went on this big thing about the AWA.
Yeah.
They didn't do hip tosses. I'm not going to redo that. But it was funny because who was the champion? Oh, there was a character named Dirty White Boy? Something like that. He's a hillbilly type. And they were doing like a little lottery thing to announce whoever he was going to fight. No, it wasn't him. It was Terry Gordy. Terry Gordy was going to fight somebody, and they did a little thing where they have like some ping pong balls and a fucking thing, and they pull it out, and the guy says, "Bryan Lee, that's a main event right there. Terry Gordy, Bryan Lee, that's a main event in any part of the country." And I'm like, no, it's not. It really isn't. Do we have a Kayfabe Korner this week?
We do have a Kayfabe Korner this week.
Am I on the hot seat?
No, I'm doing it again.
I know.
Oh, so yes, you are. Yeah, I guess you are. And since we did this before, and I messed up, and you got a 7 last time.
Okay, so whatever my better score is, that's what's notched in the books.
Yeah, it only seems fair.
That is fair. Of course, it's fair.
All right. Again, Kayfabe Korner. It's only the greatest pro wrestling trivia challenge of them all.
Absolutely, it is.
12 names, 6 real, 6 fake. My theme is the same as it was last time. We're spending this episode talking about the future. So let's look back at the future of WWE, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
So this is all Florida Championship Wrestling.
Oh, man. Sterling James Keenan, real.
It's not on there. It's a completely different list.
I'm still pissed about that one. All right, go ahead.
Number 1.
Okay.
Michael Cade.
Real. That's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Michael Cade. Fuck. No, I don't. Who is it?
It's Byron Saxton.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I did know that because I think I looked him up recently.
Number 2. Michael Cutter.
That's real too.
Fake.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Number
There's
3.
a variation on that name that's real though, huh?
Probably. I don't know. Okay. Number 3. Juice Robinson.
Fake.
Real.
Really? That's a terrible name.
That's C.J. Parker.
Oh, no wonder. That guy's terrible.
Number 4. Three Rivers John.
Wow, what a great name. But you made that up. That's fake.
It is a great name, but it is fake.
Can you write that one down? I want to make that on Fuck Wrestling.
Yeah, I already written down. That's why I'm reading it off something. This isn't from memory. Number
Luger
5.
Narcissist. It's an extension of his personality.
Number 5. Matt Classic.
Oh, God. That's terrible. That's fake.
Real.
Really? That's awful.
That's one of Colt Cabana's names.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Number 6. Brandy Knight.
Brandy Knight?
Yep.
That's real.
Fake. Are you thinking of Brittany Knight? That was one of Paige's names.
Oh, okay. You little scumbag. You can't make
Oh,
him
you
that
do
close.
that shit too. 7. Luther Dread.
Luther Dread. That sounds real. That's real.
Fake.
Really? God damn it.
Number 8. Austin Draven.
Fuck me. I've not been paying attention to how many get real or fake. Wait, which one did I get right?
You got Michael Cade correct.
Yeah.
Three Rivers John.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, I'm at 2. That's fine. I got 7. Go ahead. What?
Austin Draven.
Austin Draven. God damn it. It sounds like you're mashing up names again. Fake.
Real.
Damn it.
That's remember that wrestler that was on Big Brother this last season?
Oh, yeah. Sid's kid.
No.
Oh.
Sid's kid wasn't a wrestler. It was just this last season.
No, I have no idea.
Why
Why do you watch Big Brother?
My wife watches Big Brother.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
His FCW name was Judas Devlin.
That's a terrible name. That's an awful name. Do they still do the live cam for Big Brother 24 hours?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have the live feeds and all that stuff still.
All right,
what number am I on? 9?
oh,
yeah.
Man, it was terrible.
Roughhouse Nelson.
That's fake.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good name, though.
No, that's a terrible name.
Good.
That's not a good name.
10. Dawson Alexander.
Dawson Alexander?
Mm-hmm.
Fake.
Real.
Oh, bummer.
David Otunga.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 11. Hellraiser Steen.
No, that's fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just looked up Kevin Steen the other day, and I don't remember that being part of his name set.
12. Last one.
Okay.
Brody Lee.
That's real.
Do you know who that was?
Brody Lee. When you tell me, I'm going to kick myself. Who is it?
Luke Harper.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
How many is that? Is
I
that
got
5?
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 trivia questions. They're pretty easy.
Okay.
Who is the only person to ever hold a championship in FCW, NXT, and WWE that I could find? I spent like 2 minutes researching it, so there could be others. But this is, as far as I'm concerned, the only one.
I mean, is it a world championship or any championship?
Any championship.
Okay.
Again, I did limited research,
Yeah,
so
sure.
this could not be the only person, but
Okay.
through my limited research,
Yeah,
this is the only person.
Trying to remember. He was the first. It's got to be Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Second, give me the name of Roman Reigns' partner in FCW when he was a tag champion.
Ooh. Can I ask, is he currently in the WWE?
He is.
He is. Ooh, okay. If I give you his WWE name, would that count?
No, I need his name in FCW.
Jey Uso.
No.
Hold on a second. Wait a second. Give me a second. Fuck, I don't know. Who is it?
He's now known as Tyler Breeze, but I think his name was
what was it?
Mike Dalton or Matt Dalton.
Matt Dalton. yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's erased from the books. No asterisk. Just give me. I get a 7.
Yeah. No, that's what we agreed to.
If I would have thought about these more, I think if I had a bit more pressure on me to do better, but I'm like, you know what?
Zero pressure on you.
Chances are I'm not going to do a 7, so I'm just going to, whatever.
You're just going to coast, huh?
I'm just going to coast, on whatever. No, that was a good one. That was really good. I'm impressed that you came up with 24 fake and real names from FCW.
There was actually a lot of people in FCW.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You should look up list of FCW
Wait,
alumni.
So Kevin Steen was in FCW?
No.
No, okay. You're just
He's
saying
in NXT, though.
Okay.
Well, I guess I should say FCW and NXT.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, that's good. That was a good one. I like those. What was that one? Three Rivers John.
I
downloaded one of the Friendos posted. I have an idea for a new Fuck Wrestling segment. It's us versus Friendo created wrestlers.
Okay.
I
think I'd mentioned that before during the Fuck Open Challenge that we had a friend. But never mind. But anyway,
yeah, there you go. Yeah. I downloaded this guy, Juan Sandwich Castillo. I don't know what it was, but man, he's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
He kicked out of many F5s. I was fighting him today as Mecha Santa, And he kicks out of many F5s. He's a beast. So
you still haven't wrestled Grumble's Duker.
Well, I'm waiting for you for that to happen.
Okay.
So maybe this week we'll get some of that done.
Yeah, perhaps.
All right. Well, that's it for the show. Hope you guys have had a good new year so far, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, happy 2016.
Goodbye.